Somebody mentioned the other day that my heels were popping up in the bottom of the squat. I am aware of that. It is because I was trying to maintain my lower back positioning. You can see my butt wink is pretty bad until I raise my heels up just a little bit. I have gotten in the past to where I can squat with a pretty flat back in the flat shoes, but I've kind of lost that mobility for some reason. Probably just didn't, haven't practiced the movement as I should. And so if, I raise my heels up off the ground and use the weight to kind of push me down, I'll eventually get back to it. That's kind of how I got to the, good positioning to start with. But somebody also asked me why I didn't do wall sits instead of the sissy squats. And look at the knee angle here, about a 90-degree angle at the knee joint. This is your typical Hindu squat here. Notice how far my knees are over my toes. And pay attention to how close my butt is to my ankles. When you lean back, you can notice how much farther my knees are forwards and that my butt is completely resting on my Achilles, essentially. So the reason I've been doing like the Hindu squats and this last version there with my knees going as far out over my toes is to strengthen my knees really. I feel like I have pretty good knees now, and if I want to maintain that, I feel that it's really important to keep moving through ranges of motion. I feel like if you fear these ranges of motion and never go there, once you're forced into that position, it's probably going to be kind of dangerous for you. So I try to practice these movements every day and just strengthen up the tendons. I try to do rep work with the Hindu squats. I did hit a PR today, by the way, 370 pounds at 150 pounds body weight. I failed 375. I do think it is in the books for me. I think I can get it. Just wasn't really in the legs today. But back to mobility stuff. I think I need to be spending more time in the hole. Obviously, my butt wink has kind of gotten worse again. So there's some muscular things I need to work on as well. Namely hip flexors, I believe. I think if you can, use your hip flexors to really pull you into the squat and sort of, rotate around your hips, you'll be pulling your hips closer to your feet and your shoulders will be going, back behind you more. So it would help me get a more upright squat, which is, how I like to squat. I'm not particularly fond of my squat in the flat shoes. I will say it is better with weight because I can use the bar to kind of push me into positioning, but just doing the body weight squats in the flat shoes, not a fan of how it looks. So I was aware of my heels popping up, kind of just, going with the flow right now. If you have ever watched Von Durick, he's the guy that kind of created this squat everyday philosophy. When he used to squat in Converses, and they have a little bit of a raised heel, and he moved over to the same type of shoes I wear, Vivo Barefoot. And I want to say almost the first month of him squatting in flats, he struggled a whole lot. His heels came up off the ground like 3 or 4 inches almost. He really struggled, and the body adapts. So about after a month, he got to where he was, keeping the heels down. He gained the ankle mobility, the hip mobility required. And so you just have to put the body in the positions that, you want to get stronger in and develop. So I'm, kind of aware that my heels were up. In time, over time, they'll, settle back down. So I'm going to start doing some paused squats, hip flexor work, of course. I'm going to do some ab work tonight as well, and probably hit a decent bench workout. And might as well do some glute work as well, just because I haven't done a whole lot of volume today. It was pretty well singles leading up to the PR. After the PR, I did take the bar for 100 total reps, actually 125. Really, that's all I got for today. I hit a PR, and now I'm about to do some accessory work, a few sets of marching, hip flexor curls, leg raises, glute bridges, and probably some sissy squats, just to put some blood into the knee tendons, keep them knees healthy and keep them strong. I feel like I had more I wanted to touch on mobility, but if I remember, I'll just cover them tomorrow. But y'all have a good one. I'll catch y'all tomorrow.